The first season of the Witcher series is done and dusted. I've binged it twice and I'm considering doing it a third time. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I cannot wait to see what the next season will have in store for us. Since I'm so eager to know what Netflix and Lauren have planned for season 2, I decided to do some research to see if I can uncover any information about it. Sadly, I couldn't really find much as there isn't much to find when production on it hasn't even begun yet. But through some digging and perseverance, I finally stumbled across a few interesting things that I think is worth taking a look at in this video. Now before I begin, I just want to say that what I'm about to discuss isn't much, but I believe it should give you a taste of what you could expect from season 2 in terms of when it'll come out, what the story could be about, and some other minor stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm sure one of the biggest questions you might have about the second season is when you could expect to see it. Well, according to an article on Variety, season 2 is currently planned for a 2021 debut. Production on it is set to begin early in 2020 in London, and just like the first season, it will feature a total of 8 episodes, each being an hour long. This means we'll most likely see the Netflix promo for it near the end of 2020 at the earliest, with the season's official release probably being early in 2021 as compared to the first season's release, which debuted it closer to the end of the year. In an exclusive interview with Digital Spy, showrunner Lauren said the following about season 2's storytelling. What I would say is that season 1 is very much about building blocks. It's about constructing the world and setting up these characters and putting them on paths and knocking those dominoes over. When you get to season 2, all of those things start to come to play, which is that characters start meeting each other, sometimes getting along, sometimes not. All those things that we set up, Geralt and Yennefer, Geralt and Ciri, Yennefer and Ciri, all of the different kingdoms that you just barely hear about in season 1, start rising to the surface in season 2. So the storytelling is a little more intense in a way, and maybe a little more focused and driven in the journeys that we're telling in season 2. So 1, season 2 is going to be more intense. And 2, the first season acted more as a setup season that introduced us to the characters and the world of The Witcher. And as Lauren puts it, with season 2, the journeys with these characters and worlds will become more driven and an actual story will start being told. Now what that story will be all about remains to be seen, but I believe that it will follow a similar approach to the first season by picking up various plot threads from a number of different Witcher books. So if you really wish to know what could potentially come next, I suggest you look at the source material, the books. It should give you some sort of an idea. I for one haven't read them yet, so I cannot really speculate as I'm only familiar with the stories that featured in the games. Then I also think we can expect to see the cast grow in size with the appearances of numerous other important characters from the Witcher franchise, such as Vesemir, which I believe will most definitely make an appearance in the next season, along with famous locations such as Kaer Morhen. Then I want to move on to another interesting thing I read in an article on Digital Spy that briefly discussed the cast of season 2 and the monsters that'll feature in it. In the article, under one of the headings titled The Witcher Season 2 Cast, Who Will Be in The Witcher Season 2, the website wrote the following. In a statement to Deadline, Hesrich confirmed that Henry Cavill, Anya Chalotra and Friar Allen will all return for season 2, which was to be expected given that they star in a number of books the show is based on. That means we can expect to see a lot more of Geralt, Yennefer and Ciri when The Witcher returns in 2021. But who will be joining them? Netflix hasn't revealed that just yet, but we can expect to see plenty more CGI monsters. Now, the return of actors Henry, Anya and Freya as Geralt, Yen and Ciri is something I'm sure we all assumed would have happened. Digital Spy also mentions that more CGI monsters will feature in season 2, which is another thing that I'm sure we all assumed would happen. With the success of season 1, which is sure to have raked in some pretty decent numbers for Netflix, it would have given them significantly more resources and funding at their disposal to feature more CGI generated monsters. Something they probably couldn't have done with the first season when the budget budget was still a bit tight. So expect to see better, more badass and meaner looking monsters for season 2. Then lastly, Variety also reported that Lauren Schmidt will return as executive producer on season 2, along with producers Tomek Baginski, Mike Ostrowski, Steve Gaup, executive producers Jason F. Brown, Sean Daniel, and Jaroslaw Sauko. With that, I think I've just covered about everything I could find on season 2. I hope I gave you something of value in this video. As time goes on and more info starts leaking or coming out, I'll make sure to keep you updated. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for my next video where I will reveal something interesting regarding a deleted scene from the 8th episode. But until then, goodbye.